This is what we're making. Just a flat, wide ring with a bezel set cabochon, 4 millimeters. Now you can either put a pattern in this or not. It's up to you. It looks good plain. So that's it. Nice and simple. We start by making a flat, wide ring. This material is 6 millimeters wide, 0.9 thick. Same old story. Get your ring size. Measure the inside diameter in millimeters. Add 0.9, multiply by 3.14, and you can just hang the end of your calipers on once you set them. Hang it on the end of your metal. Drag it across. Gives you a mark to cut to saw this and then file it. Wouldn't hurt to add 0.5 millimeter to this because wide rings need to be a little bit bigger to fit over your knuckle. So just file the ends nice and flat. Check it against your file. When you have that nice, check the metal. If it's easy to bend, just form it into a ring. If not, anneal it. And annealing is just heating this up until it's a dull red, turning the torch off, and then quenching this in water. I've annealed the metal. Now, if you want a little bit of a pattern on this, you need to do it while it's flat. You can just leave this nice and smooth. But it's a pattern for me, and I have one of my hammers that I've put a nice little pattern on. Now I'm going to form this into a ring. I haven't hammered the ends, so I won't have to refile it. So, half round flat pliers. The half round goes on the inside. Just curl it around so that the ends touch, and we want them to touch 100%. Because a good solder job means less cleanup. On this one we have a pattern on the outside, so we're going to flex the inside. 2 bits of hard solder. Placed with the flex brush. As long as the solder is touching the join, it doesn't really matter. Now, if this were just a plain ring, we'd probably put the joint up and put the solder on the outside. Neutral flame. And we're going to just brush the flame on and off until the flux is dry. If the solder jumps around, it's no drama. Push it where it belongs with your solder pick. Once the flux is dry, flame on the inside about 60 mil away, brushing it back and forth side to side so that both sides are the same temperature. When the solder flows, take your flame away. Now you can see that there's just a small amount of solder on the outside that we have to clean up. So we'll pickle this, round it up on a ring mandrel, and sand that tiny bit with 400 grade paper. Always round up your material before you sand it back, because it's easier to sand on the top of a curve than it is on the flat. And we only want to sand this the smallest amount possible because it does have a pattern on it. We don't want to take our pattern off. So once you have that, and you have a little spot to clean up, you can go, that you have cleaned up, you can go back on your ring mandrel, put the pattern back in it, where you sanded. Now we're going to sand the edges smooth, hallmark it, and we're ready to put this one aside. We're going to cut a slice of chenille, which is seamless tubing. This is 4 millimeter inside diameter, and we're using this as a little bezel. So I'm cutting this 2 millimeters long using my chenille cutter, and it's already set to the correct depth, and you just saw in there. Now, this is for a class, so we're slicing this. Then we'll hold this piece with our pliers and use our file. If you're doing this for yourself, you can just hold your chenille against your bench peg, use your ring file, your half-round ring file, and just this small curved bit on the end, and you can put a bit of a curve in it. And it's easier to do this if you're holding the length of tubing, because what we're doing is trying to make that end fit the ring. Yeah. So we have to file a little bit of a curve in it so that we get a really good connection. But I'll show you how to do it with just a small piece. So take your piece of chenille, and you can hold it in your flat round pliers, and then just brace it against your bench peg, and that lets you do your filing, and you just keep fitting it against your ring, and when you have a really good fit, we'll solder it.